Jesus. Oh my god, let's pretend you didn't see that, okay?
Hello, I'm Sayuui. Welcome to my critique sessions. Today we're going to be featuring Nisage's work, focusing on gesture and sketching. Then we're going to be taking a look at Fai Art's artwork, focusing on adding backgrounds and lighting. And finally, we're going to take a look at Renigma's work, focusing on color balance and lighting. Let's go.
The first thing I noticed that Misa is missing, and I think he could benefit from, is gesture. So if you guys don't know, there's this website, it's called RKGK.org. They have like timed practice gesture, they have 3D model poses, they have a bunch of stuff. Japanese artists use it a lot. Each one of these was 30 seconds for me. It could be 1 minute, you know, it could be 2 minutes. It really depends on how fast you are. But the idea here is that you can get the strokes for these really fast. So you can get like the feel of the pose. This is definitely gonna help you out with character stiffness. By the way, if you want to be able to tell if a character is stiff, sketch a cross. And if the character fits the cross, it's stiff, okay? You also have to remember to apply this to your drawings. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna do this once, gonna call it a day, I'll never touch this again. No, this is like a constant study and practice. You have to go back, draw a bunch of more studies, and keep trying to make your drawings dynamic. In reality, things do not work in this structure. Even if it works like that in reality, drawings have to be ideal. This perspective issue with the boob, it's gonna be like behind this other boob, so it's gonna be a little bit lifted, not much. All these issues are associated, and if you fix your issue with perspective and the character, you're also gonna be able to fix the gesture of the character. These are hands and feet. You can go up to line of action. Website is called Quick Poses. On Pinterest too, you can find a bunch of pictures that are very good for gesture. Oh Jesus. Oh my god, let's pretend you didn't see that, okay? These are some studies I did. If you're starting out, you should definitely not focus on muscles. Just focus on volumes and like try drawing the axis that divides the body into two like this. This is very important because it will allow you to never have like impossible torsions or disconnect the body ever when you're drawing. That's great reference, yeah. But actually, you should not use my drawings for reference. You should take real people posing and try to turn them into your thing. Another thing I wanted to tell Nisa, avoid this type of sketching. Going back and forward. Avoid it. Just go in one direction. You're gonna find out that your lines are gonna become incredibly clean. This one was submitted by Fai. If you don't have any other people to model for you, you always have one person to model off yourself. Yes, I often like to take pictures of myself to solve things, but there's also another thing I want to show you guys. You can use Magic Poster Web. So basically it gives you a 3D model right off the bat. You don't have to download anything, you don't have to do anything. If you would like to change the character, you can definitely go up to the side here, click add, just remove this other guy. If you don't like using this proportions, you can definitely fix it in your drawing later. But I think this is like way easier to pose than the Clip Studio characters. Of course, no one poses like this, Sayuui. Oh, you can also change the light source. Rotate like this. Also, I would like recommend checking this out and trying the poses before you start drawing, because of course, you don't want to waste your precious time trying to figure out a pose you can't. Fai told me she wanted to come up with a background for this. I would like, for the most part, recommend that you come up with a background before anything. Think of the background with the character. You don't want your character to become as if it's not a real part of the background. Also, a very good exercise to improve your art is to make characters interact with the background, because it's not like the character is one thing and the background is another thing, you know? If you make like characters eating, it's a very good way to enjoy yourself and also improve your art. It's very good to have it on your portfolio. Here, I saw that she came for this hot looking paint for the light, and it looks kind of reddish. There are some artists who are like, I want to be the hand artist, I want to be the feet artist. And it's really recognizable because it's something that can set you apart from others. And it's really nice to have an identity like that. There are so many things you can do with your art if you want to stand out. You know what? We decided we're gonna come up with a background. The problem with coming up with a background separately from the character is that it's simply not gonna fit. Alright, the right thing to do is to always work on the character and the background at the same time. I would like to make sure that it is very emphasized that the light is coming from up above here. I want some direct light casting on her because do you remember from last stream when I mentioned the way you light things gives us how we should feel about a piece? I realized here that she was very shy with navigating the color wheel. So I'm just gonna make this pop a little bit more. So I'm gonna add some yellow with the add glow effect. So right now we've ran into another problem, which is exposure. You don't want to have too many layers of light if you have a bunch of layers of shadow. So we are going to come back here and cover all these highlights. Now we're going to emphasize some ambient occlusion, which is the parts where the light is not gonna hit no matter what. It's going to be a little bit on her face, but you know, in anime style, ambient occlusion isn't very strong. It's not gonna go all the way into the very dark parts of the color wheel. So this tone should be enough, okay? Okay, so let's add some more light to her shoulders as well. And also her head is going to cast some shadow on her chest as well. We could do it with multiply, but right now I'm gonna choose hard light and choose a very dark orangish color. Also, I realized that I hid the character's hands here, but there's no much reason for that. So we're also going to show the character's hands because, yeah. Another hint I want to point out, actually I'm picking up a very greenish color here from her sleeve, but since you made her skin tones very saturated and they are kind of reddish, you also want all your scene to have reddish types of shades as well. So we're also gonna pick up some reddish orangish tones for the whites and we're going to shade with that tone. Okay, I think I'm gonna saturate the shadows I created just a little more, so it's gonna pop and also look more like a part of the drawing that's already existent. I want to like try windows for this background. Okay, there's a quick way to do it. Basically, you're just gonna create a selection. We can like make it as small as possible so it's like reproducible, and we're gonna like subtract from that selection and try to make windows. It doesn't look perfect, absolutely not, but it serves what we're gonna try to do, okay? We're gonna tilt the horizon line a little bit so it adds up to the dynamicy of the work that FiArt submitted here. Alright, since we're inside and this is gonna be the outside of the window, we want to show things that are outside the window but with very low exposure. So we are gonna pick like very light and very saturated tones here, and we are going to sketch out some organic shapes, okay? Let's blur this very intensely. Since we decided that there are gonna be windows behind her, we're not gonna need any of the light that's coming from up here. So we're going to erase a little bit. We're gonna draw some cast shadows on this counter because we need them. And we're also going to make this window look a little bit more believable by adding some light coming in. We were supposed to go a little bit deeper in this correction, but I think it's good enough. And I really don't know what to fix here, Enigma. You got me in a really hard position because everything looks pretty good. The only thing I would do here, really, is to cast backlight on her. I think it would not only look more dramatic, but it will also look more in accordance to the lighting here. You have this big element here that lights up the character, but you didn't follow that much, you know? Let's try here. You have this red tint, so if we desaturate them a lot, you're gonna feel like it's greenish. I didn't exaggerate enough for this to take place, but you also want to have some color balance as well. So imagine you went to a hospital and suddenly you look at all the doctors and they're all in red. All right, you need to counterbalance that a little bit. Red is a very strong color. So what happens if you make that sun kind of greenish too? Ooh, intriguing. Before, after, with a little bit of green sun as well. Of course, you could definitely like choose other colors. Also, I would suggest adding more grass here. Make sure that the viewer knows it's grass. And that's it.
If you'd like to be in the next section of this paint over, please join my Discord server and submit your work there. Check out this video, YouTube thinks you will like it, and I hope to see you in the next time.